Tell me how it makes you feel. What do you think about this?
It's terrible, man. It's terrible. They keep killing our kids, man. Like we don't fight in the war just like everybody else fighting the war. We come and keep fighting for this country, and they keep doing us wrong. Keep with this dirty policy. You know what I'm saying? Over and over and over. It's another black kid, Latino kid. Somebody got killed for nothing. You know, this racism got to stop. You really got to be slow-minded to still have this racism going on in 2012. I mean, every year, every month, it's some more kids that got killed by the police, by somebody that's trying to be a police, somebody that's not even a police. But they keep doing it over and don't even arrest the guy. I mean, it's been weeks and the guy is still walking around free like he ain't did nothing, you know? It's just a disgrace, man. America is just terrible. I mean, we pay taxes and go to school and work every day here and fight in all the wars and don't get no kind of justice at all, ever. Watch, in a couple of months, it's gonna be another kid and another kid and another kid. Always. Our kids keep getting killed, always, continuously, with no limitations. It's just trying to kill us. I don't know what's the problem, but it's just dirty, you know? It's just continuously a dirty, racist act that keep happening against the black youth just because you wear a hoodie. I mean, everybody wears hoodies. You don't shoot everybody, you know what I'm saying? If it was some white kids, police would have been in jail. Same day, same hour, you know, but continuous cycle of killing our kids over and over, every century, every decade. It's the same thing over and over and over, man. I'm just tired of it, you know?
All right, I appreciate that, man. All right, good luck.
We are Trayvon! We are Trayvon! We are Trayvon!
When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice!
This stays up until he's in jail. You know what the difference between fact and fiction is? Fiction has to be plausible.
My heart bleeds for Trayvon's parents. Not only is it an injustice for him, but for his parents also. Although my heart bleeds for his parents, my heart beats for justice for Trayvon. And as long as I have a beating heart, I'll be walking the street until justice has been served. Arrest Zimmerman now.
My son and I are here today because we feel a grave injustice has been done, and ever since this story broke, I thought about my son here who drinks Arizona iced tea, who wears a hoodie, who eats Skittles, and how if this country isn't safe for all of our sons to walk home, to walk from a convenience store, then it's not safe for my son. So we're here to support the family of Trayvon Martin and to ask for justice.
Thank you. What do you think about this, little man?
Well, all I have to say is it just reminds me of what I do almost every day coming home from school, and that's drinking Arizona iced tea and eating Skittles. And I just feel like, even though I'm not black, that could happen to me.
Thank you.
I just like to say I'm here for Trayvon Martin because, like Trayvon Martin, I have my own Trayvon Martin. I have 2 young sons who wear hoodies, and it's just I'm just outraged. So I'm here for his family and to support of the arrest of the perpetrator because he did commit murder. My name is Trayvon. Thank you.
I am terribly, terribly, terribly sorry. Almost all of us are, except Newt Gingrich, apparently. Unfortunately, he counts as one of us, but we're ashamed. Sorry, you guys.
I'm here to stand for justice in the world that we live in now. It's either have or have not, and it's unequal. And as long as people have to struggle just to live, it's going to be an issue. There's an old LaBelle song that says, people want to live, not merely exist. And we have 90% of people just merely existing, paycheck to paycheck. This brings on stress in our world, which causes confliction. We have good, we have evil, and when they combine, the evil thinks they win, but in the end, they will never win. Justice.
How do you feel about this situation?
I'm sickened by it. This could be my kid, this could be my grandkid, this could be my student. Actually, it's all of them. I'm Puerto Rican and Italian, and I'm sure there's quite a bit of little black in me too, and I'm so proud of it. And I want all the kids to know that whatever they are, they need to stand up and be really strong. And yeah, it's all our kids, and I'm really upset about this whole situation. This little boy should be here with me. I'm here because I want all the children protected and everyone to have freedom. This is 2012 and it's still happening. We have a long way to go.
Thank you. How does it make you feel, man?
Well, it feels like a personal attack, as a lot of us have, shouted in some of our demonstrations is "We are Trayvon," and that's exactly the way I feel. There are no other words that could describe it. I feel I was Trayvon. I almost feel that I'm not here. There are so many situations similar to what happened to Trayvon that I personally escaped from. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time, wearing the wrong type of, hoodies and encountered by the, the wrong type of, official forces or so-called official forces, those that are supposed to, put themselves out there to, protect society, with their misguided, visions and aspects of, what is exactly safe and, what isn't. When in fact, they're actually some of the most dangerous, aspects of society themselves. Throwing on the cape, flying out here to save America. That's how I feel. I feel like Trayvon.
Thank you, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. You should have.
Something you would like to say about this, or y'all together?
Well, I'd like to say that this case unfortunately cost a young man his life, but it's really brought attention to this new law that they have in several states, this Stand Your Ground law. It either needs to be repealed immediately or drastically altered. That's what I feel.
I just like to say I was so unhappy and disgusted with the whole case. Number one, the fact that the kid was just an innocent kid trying to buy some snacks during the middle of the game and then did not make it home. And when I first heard about it, I actually started crying because I thought about my son, all of the children in my family, not just the boys, the girls, everyone, and most of all black individuals, because we are stereotyped just for the clothing we wear and from information that's been passed on about other people that affects all of us. And another thing I was very upset about is when I read about when the police department held Trayvon's body in the medical center for 3 days without even trying to find out who he was, who his parents was, and just leaving him there like he was nobody. I don't think they would want anyone in their family treated like that. And that's when I really got upset with the whole case and wanted to do something about it, bring my family out to support Trayvon Martin's family, to take a stand for what we believe in, and to let everybody know that this should not have happened. And it kind of reminds me of going back to the 50s with the Emmett Till case. And I thought about, that's what our parents went through. And we want to stop this for the future and just for everybody. Stop the racial profiling, just stop the killings, and for Zimmerman to take actions in his own hand, that was totally wrong. Once he was told he did not need to follow Trayvon, that's when he should have thought twice and let the police officers take it into their own hands, and the child would be alive today.
Thank you. How do you feel about this, fam?
I just think we just need justice on Zimmerman. I mean, it's a shame that this is still going on in 2012. It shows how far we as black people have to go until we're considered equal. We just need justice.
Feel you. Any comments, love?
I already did that. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! Justice! 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 Now! Justice!
Next round, baby. Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice!
My name is Shannon Comey McLean, and I'm here to support Trayvon and to stand up for him and to stand up against racial profiling in America. She's the mother of two 16-year-old twin boys, and the pain and the hurt and the grief that all mothers are going through, but I think especially mothers who are raising young black men in this country, is the feelings and emotions are completely overwhelming, because that could have been anyone's son walking home, you know, stopping at the corner store to get something to drink, get something to eat. He was not seen committing any crime. He wasn't seen leaving anyone's house with a plasma screen TV on his back. He was just being a kid, going home to meet up with his family and finish watching the game. And that was enough for someone to come up to him and take his life. And I think it's despicable that no arrest has been made yet. I think it's really, really sad that today someone can pull up to you in a vehicle with no uniform, no badge, no authority, and then that person, because you seem suspicious to them, they can take your life. And that is not the way that things should be working in the United States. Not in 2012. It shouldn't have been working that way in 1955 when Emmett Till was killed. But it definitely shouldn't be that way today. And I'm very passionate about that, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to stand up for Trayvon. I'm here to stand up for every single young black man that is living their life today in the U.S. and having to deal with not only this, but much more, and people are so afraid to talk about it. You know, it's like people are afraid to admit that this is the way that our country is functioning right now. And with that fear, we can't have the discussion, and with the discussion, we can't make change. And I'm here to stand up for change.
Good enough.
What are your plans Monday? Like around 4 o'clock, or better yet, 6 o'clock. We're having the Million Hoodie March Monday, 4 o'clock we gather, 6 o'clock we march. But remember this, always peaceful, but we get the point across.
You guys mind if I take this?
I
I'm here because this is a completely outrageous situation, and we all need to stick together and fight for what is right. And what happened in Florida is the ultimate wrong, and my heart goes out to the family of Trayvon. It is a heartbreaking situation, and I can't believe the police are basically protecting the killer and not the victim of a crime. That's why we're here.
Thank you. Good?
Yep. Oh, what he said.
Yeah. Well, if you got any, what do you think about it, though? About the whole situation in itself?
Well, the whole situation is just, it's a heartbreak. I mean, Trayvon is everybody's son. It's a shame that a boy can't walk down the street without somebody doing vigilante on him.
God bless you. Thank you.
Hi, I am here to support to have Zimmerman arrested. I think fair is fair. You know, he didn't do what was right. He called the police. They told him to back off. He didn't. You know, we want some justice.
I feel that it could happen anywhere. And I feel that it's a police cover-up. And I think that the police, not only the chief should have resigned, some of those officers should be suspended or dismissed. And I think the law is wrong, and it's targeting, profiling black people, black kids. And I think it needs to be changed. And it's just not here, not in Florida, it's all over. And our kids are our kids is just being picked up like flies, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. And you, Mama?
Well, my kid walks around with his hood on, so I would hate for the police to, you know, to profile him and for something like that to happen to him as well. So I'm out here to protest because it's not fair, because I think there's kids of all different races who walk around just like that, and it's not fair. The police, something needs to be done to that force. Obviously, it's a complete cover-up, and it's not fair.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice!
Ryo Cole, I'm outraged because I don't have any children yet, but one day I do plan on having kids, and I'm just upset that this is still going on today, given that we have a black president, an innocent boy, because of what he's wearing and because he's black, gets shot. So I'm just upset, and we were out here today and just supporting, so we have to keep supporting each other so that hopefully Zimmerman will go to jail. Thank you.
That's
You want to say something?
No, you know, I'm out here in support of justice. You know, I'm from the South myself, and I can remember, I'm 37 years old, my name is Lamont Wheat, and I can remember my mom having a conversation with me in the late 70s, maybe the early 80s, about how I should be polite and how I should be really submissive if I'm ever pulled over or stopped. And I think in 2012, you know, we need to stop profiling people and really accept everyone for who they are, regardless of the color of their skin, what they look like, what they're wearing. We should just accept people and let people be free and give everybody an equal opportunity to be themselves. And I'm here to support justice. I think that, you know, this happens too often, and it's time for it to stop.
Introduce yourself, man. What do you feel about this?
Man, I'm Kincaid. I'm from Memphis. Man, the whole thing is just taking the world by storm right now, taking America by storm. I honestly feel like we should more so focus on the cause, or more so than the hereafter. Like, it's so much been going on, and the same people that destroys this country, or the same people that does things to us to oppress us, we look to them for help. We look to them for help when we really should look within ourselves and look within our community, or look within our culture to better ourselves or educate ourselves. I say, my country, tears of thee. Shit, my country never shed tears for me. Instead, they kept them bottled up inside a secret society. Now it's the third eye in we that got people inquiring. I mean, they're wondering who hired he. Best believe not LAPD or MAPD. See, It takes more than me. It takes more than a community. You see, it's my prerogative. Call me young Bobby B. Before that lighter hit that bass pipe and he was rocketing. I mean, thoughts like Socrates, but props to him not to be. It was Imhotep that started this form of philosophy.
Y'all ladies like to give a comment about what y'all feel about this?
On behalf of, you know, the family, I can't imagine what they're going through. You know, they lost their son unnecessarily. As a black American, it sucks. I'm not surprised by it at all. It happens every day, but unfortunately, this is, not unfortunately, but, you know, for some reason this case was publicized. I'm glad it was. You know, attention needs to be brought, but I'm not surprised.
How do you feel?
I'm just hoping that this really sparks a change in our communities and on the local as well as the statewide and just across the nation, that it really sparks a change on really what's going on in our communities, and hopefully it makes us a stronger community because of it. And I hope this movement keeps going on until it starts affecting, changing the laws. And even when people comes down to November, when people start thinking about who they're going to vote for, who is going to be representing them on the local and statewide level, and how these laws are being put in place that are detrimental to our lives. So I'm hoping this really sparks true change in what's going on. So
thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
You too.
What do you want? Justice! We want it now! What do you want? Justice! When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! We want it now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it now?
Yeah, I think what happened to the young man in Florida is a travesty, and the fact that nothing's been done about it, nothing concrete, is horrible. The guy that shot him even made statements when he called the police about a couple of young black men that matched a description from prior robberies in the area, and it was that they were black and between the ages of 18 and 22. Not too general.
How do you feel?
I just think exactly what my co-worker said. It's a travesty. It just brings to mind that nothing has really changed in this country, and that people are getting bolder, you know, and they know they're going to get away with it, and that's horrible.
All right, thank you, ladies.
My biggest concern is, you know, there's always going to be crazy people like Zimmerman popping off, killing people for no reason, but our biggest concern is the justice with the police department, and for them to turn a blind eye to something like that is just, you know, an injustice, and it's unacceptable.
Thank you. How do you feel about this?
I feel like we want not just the arrest of George Zimmerman, but also the conviction of George Zimmerman, and also all of the authorities that are obstructing the justice of Trayvon. Yeah, that's how I feel.
How do you feel about this one?
I think it's a shame that they haven't arrested Zimmerman yet. And this is just one episode, but there's a lot. You know how they say when you see a roach on the wall, there's hundreds behind the wall. So this is just something that's been exposed that And I'm glad that it's been exposed worldwide like this, and everybody is coming together. And it's bringing our races together just because I feel like there's some good police officers out there, and that we need to dig deep and clean all that out. And it's a shame that our young young African American boys are getting annihilated like this, and nothing's being done about it. It's being swept everywhere. And it's not safe for our young black men to be outside and at nighttime, and it's not, they're not killing the drug dealers, they're not killing the gangbangers, they're not killing the crackheads, they're killing our future, and they're getting away with it. And it's time that everybody stand up. And right now, I just feel like it's just not safe for young African American youngsters, and it's just wiping our future out. That's the way I feel about it.
Thank you.
And I'm glad all races are coming together to fight this. You know. Thank you.